Hey guys, thought I would give you a little update here on what I've been doing with the dirty Murray Mud Mower. Well, here's the chassis. I tore the engine off. It's a little dirty. I took it out for about 3 romps already. I went and got a new fuel line with a fuel filter and a shut-off valve. Those are really handy. You can see when I painted this black, I didn't remove the engine, so still has the factory red, which is really nice. Yeah. But I also picked up some LED lights. They're really nice. They're pretty bright. Let's see here. Well, there's the engine in all her glory. 12 horsepower Briggs flathead. I've torn it all the way down. This is the stator. I went ahead and I took some very fine grit sandpaper and sanded all these down. I don't know if you can see that real well, but they're pretty clean now. And I cleaned the engine up as best I could. I cleaned this up a little bit. So now I should get a really good charge. I also pulled the head off and I cleaned all that up with a cookie. And I'll show you what a cookie is. It takes away material as far as like paint and oil and gasket material and stuff, but it won't really take down the metal too much, so your surface still stays fairly machine flat. When I pulled out the piston, there was some scoring in here, and you can kind of see faint little bit of scoring. You're probably saying that's not too bad, but it was worse. I honed out the cylinder just a little bit, just enough to take down some of those surface scratches, and she's pretty smooth now. And I made my own hone, and I'll show you how I did that in a minute. But this is the inside, and she was running pretty good, and she was just leaking oil, and the oil was leaking from here, this gasket, and the other gasket, like this one, that goes on this goes right here where the output shaft comes out. But I wasn't even going to tear it down this far until I noticed that there was a lot of metal shavings in the case, and I cleaned all this out really good. It's all nice and clean, no oil, no nothing. She's real clean in there, and you can see this little ding right there, and you can kind of see it right there, and that's not supposed to be there. It's about, I would say, 15 thousandths or so shaved off right there, and it was happening because of this. Let me show you here. So you have these two crankshaft counterweights, And these are what the crankshaft rides in inside of there. And these are machine surfaces right here with there's supposed to be some races in here. And if you look, this one still has the race. You can see right here where that divot is, that the race is still in here. It's worn a little bit. It's worn down a little, and they're made out of steel. And then this one right here, you can see the race is gone. And here it is. And it was broke like that when I tore out the crankshaft and looked at it. This is supposed to go in here. It sits like that. But there's something else that's wrong here. And whoever had it before me, I'm guessing that this is like this because they probably didn't change the oil regularly, and gas leaked into the oil, so causes a lot of wear really quick. When fuel leaks into your oil in here and you don't change it right away, it does a lot of damage because it breaks down the viscosity of the oil quick. These actually, that one was like that and this one was like this. These ride like that inside of that case right here, and the crankshaft goes in here. And this was the one that was in the back against where the flywheel side, and this is the output shaft side. And see, this race is out of it right now. So if I turn these back to back here and I put them up against each other, here, let me turn it this way, you'll see there is a big difference here. This one is way wore down compared to the one in behind it. So if you're having a problem and you hear your engine is a little bit louder than it should be, and it won't idle right, because it ran like a champ, even with this being like this, it still ran really good, and surprisingly, and so if your engine isn't idling well and you have to keep the idle up higher than you would like it to be, this is probably one of the problems that you have, because it's hard for the engine to keep good timing at a low RPM when the counterweight is causing an imbalance in the engine. So you have to keep the RPMs up to overcome the imbalance. And it really wasn't making a loud noise. I really, these engines are pretty loud as anyway, but I couldn't tell that there was a really loud noise. I just knew that the idle wasn't idling low enough. I had to keep the idle up a little bit higher than it should be to keep it running, so it wouldn't just fall off and shut down. So these right here cost $100 from the parts store, Briggs & Stratton parts store. I can't put a link for you guys, but if you just Google it, you put the engine model number and stuff, and then it'll give you a list of all these parts. And so that's that, yeah. And then these ring gears, I didn't make a video of it, but these ring gears are riveted right here and right here to the flywheel. And you have to cut the rivets out, and I actually had to drill the rivets about halfway down into the flywheel before I could get them out. Yeah, this is the original. This is the original flywheel for 20 years. This is a 1995 engine, so it's 20 years old. But this is why I'm replacing it. Whoever had it before me was probably starting it with the starter loose. It was loose against the side of the engine. And if you look at these teeth, you can see they are chewed up. See, that's when you get over here, those teeth are decent. But when you get around to here, about right there, those suckers are chewed up. The starter gear can't even touch them. Even with a new starter gear, I got this starter gear right here. It was brand new, and it was working, but every time it would come past that part on the ring gear that was missing teeth, it would cause this to happen. So that's the starter gear. I don't want to make this video too long, but there's a lot of stuff to show. So these are the valve springs right here. One is red and one is just metal color, and the red one's the exhaust and the other one's the intake. That's for my PCV valve. On this engine, it actually has, like, it says IN. It says right there, you can't really see it. It says IN and then T for intake. And this one says XST, exhaust. I cleaned them up real good with a cookie. Trust me, they did not look like that before. That center part I really couldn't get down in there, but yeah, so those are nice and clean. I'm getting ready to buy some valve goop, and I'm gonna do a valve job where you put the goop on this edge right here, and you put it on the back side of the valve right here, and when you put it in, when you put the valve in, you spin it like that, and it reseats your valves. And maybe I'll make a video on that. And there's like no play. There's no play in my valve. Oh. So that's a good thing. But here, check out video number 2, and I'll keep going on some of this stuff. Alright, thanks. See you on the next one.